From the topmost floor of the Li Corporation headquarters, Li Wei gazed out at the city, his silver eyes reflecting the distant glow. It was a city he had fought for, a legacy he had protected, alone. His life had become an endless cycle of decisions, deals, and lonely victories. The soft knock at his door interrupted his thoughts. Before he could answer, the door opened and his secretary stepped in. "Sir," she said hesitantly, "Li Feng is here." At the name, Li Wei's heart stirred with memories of the past. Li Feng was born on a stormy autumn night. Outside his father's study, young Li Wei was told, "You have a brother now. Take care of him." Li Wei nodded, though his young heart was heavy. His mother's death still lingered, and his father's remarriage had created a rift he didn't know how to bridge. When he first saw Li Feng, the baby was crying loudly, red-faced and vulnerable. "He's noisy," Li Wei muttered. "All babies are," the nanny said. "He'll quiet down when he feels safe." Safe. The word stayed with him. As years passed, Li Wei remained distant. Their father and stepmother doted on Li Feng, while Li Wei watched from the shadows, silently protective. At 4, Li Feng followed him everywhere, seeking attention. Li Wei offered little, but when Li Feng scraped his knee or faced scolding, Li Wei quietly stepped in to help. As Li Feng grew older, his admiration for Li Wei never wavered. But Li Wei, burdened by responsibilities, kept his distance. "Wei, can we play outside?" a 7-year-old Li Feng asked. "I'm busy," Li Wei replied. "You don't care about me," Li Feng shouted, storming off. From that day, he stopped asking. Li Wei watched the growing gap between them, guilt gnawing at him, but he didn't know how to bridge it. That was their past. Li Wei's grip tightened on his glass. "Li Feng?" he repeated, voice calm despite the storm inside. "Send him in." The door opened, revealing a tall, poised man. Li Feng. The boy was gone, replaced by someone with sharp features and silver eyes mirroring Li Wei's own. "Li Wei," Li Feng said, voice steady and cold. "I want to work here." Li Wei leaned back, amused. "Work here? Why? This is my family's company too," Li Feng snapped. "I want my place." Li Wei's smile was faint, unreadable. "And what makes you think I'll let you?" Li Feng's gaze didn't waver. "Because you owe me. For father. For mother. For everything." Li Wei's smile faltered briefly before hardening. "Fine. Start Monday, but don't expect favors." As Li Feng left, Li Wei leaned back, exhaling slowly. His brother was back, but the distance between them felt icy. Li Feng's first weeks were a blur of meetings, reports, and late nights. His sharp mind and relentless drive impressed everyone. But beneath his polished exterior, he worked toward a single goal, to dismantle everything Li Wei had built. Li Wei watched quietly, noting how Li Feng commanded attention, a charisma that echoed their father's. One evening, Li Wei told his secretary, "Give Li Feng the best team for the upcoming project." "Should I inform him?" she asked. "No," Li Wei replied firmly. "He doesn't need to know." Days later, Li Feng burst into Li Wei's office, holding a file. "Why did you reassign the project lead?" Li Wei looked up, calm. "I thought you'd do better." "Stop pretending like you're helping me," Li Feng snapped. Li Wei leaned back. "I gave you the role because you're capable. If you see ulterior motives, that's on you." Li Feng hesitated, then left in silence, his mind racing. Why would Li Wei support him? Guilt? Or something else? Months later, Li Feng's birthday arrived. He had no plans to celebrate, but a formal invitation from Li Wei to the family estate changed his mind. The house, a sprawling mansion on the outskirts of Shanghai, was quiet when he arrived. The dining hall was set for 2, the space eerily empty. Li Wei was already seated, a glass of wine in hand. "You're late," Li Wei remarked, his tone neutral. Li Feng sat down without responding. The meal was exquisite but silent, tension hanging in the air. After dessert, Li Wei slid a small envelope across the table. "What's this?" Li Feng asked suspiciously. "Your gift," Li Wei said simply. Inside was the deed to 20% of the company shares. Li Feng's hands trembled as he read the document. "Why would you do this?" he demanded, his voice rising. Li Wei took a sip of wine, his expression unreadable. "Because you are family," Li Feng clenched his fists. "You think this makes up for everything?" Li Wei's gaze softened, but he said nothing. His silence only fueled Li Feng's anger. Li Feng worked late into the night, papers scattered across his desk. His silver eyes burned with determination as his plan neared completion. With the shareholders on his side and control of key company shares, only the final step remained. The next day, he entered the boardroom confidently. The directors were seated, their expressions cautious. At the head of the table sat Li Wei, calm and unreadable. "Let's begin," Li Feng said, his voice steady. A director spoke. "Mr. Li Feng has called this meeting to address company leadership." Li Wei's gaze sharpened. "Leadership?" he echoed. "Go on." Li Feng didn't flinch. "It's time for change. Under your leadership, the company has stagnated. We need new vision. I'm ready to take us forward." Murmurs spread. Li Wei leaned back. "And you think you're the one for the job?" "Yes," Li Feng replied firmly. The board reviewed his proposals, finding them compelling. With majority support, a vote was called. By the end, Li Wei was no longer CEO. Li Feng watched as Li Wei calmly gathered his things. "Thank you for your service," Li Feng said, his tone measured. "I'll take it from here." Li Wei paused briefly at the door, nodded, and left without a word. The room fell silent. Gripping the table, Li Feng realized his victory felt strangely hollow. That evening, Li Feng returned to the family estate and found the study lights on. Inside, Li Wei sat at the oak desk, surrounded by old documents. "You're here," Li Feng said sharply. Li Wei didn't look up. "Where else would I be?" Frustration flared. "Why didn't you fight back? You could have stopped this." Li Wei set his pen down, his silver eyes weary. "Did you want to fight?" "I wanted you to care," Li Feng snapped, "to show this company mattered to you." Li Wei stood, his presence imposing. "You think I don't care? I've cared for the company, for this family, for you. But caring doesn't mean clinging to power." Li Feng laughed bitterly. "You're just playing the martyr." Li Wei's gaze hardened. "Believe what you want. You've already decided I'm the villain." "You are," Li Feng shouted. "You let father die, you destroyed mother, and now you pretend you're above it all." Li Wei's composure cracked. "You think I wanted any of this? I've sacrificed more than you'll ever know." "Sacrifice?" Li Feng scoffed. "You call exiling mother and stealing this company sacrificing?" "I stole nothing," Li Wei said firmly. "I built this while you were gone. And as for mothers," he paused, "you don't know the truth." "Then tell me," Li Feng demanded. Li Wei stayed silent. Li Feng stormed out, slamming the door. Alone in the study, Li Wei sifted through old photographs, his father's smiling face staring back. "Did I fail him?" he whispered. The room offered no answer. For the first time, he allowed himself to grieve, not for his father or his position, but for the brother he couldn't reach.